Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here today with something that I find really exciting. I am launching a new digital collection that will be 2 sets of digital printables that will be available in my Etsy shop. This is the launch of the Majestic Mycology Forest collection. So this was something that I conceptualized and designed while I was away on my little vacation in the woods of Quebec, and I was doing a lot of mushroom hunting and mycology photographs and all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy it. So I will be showing you a couple things. So I've made 2 proof of concept journals that go along with this collection. These will also be available in my Etsy shop, and I'm pretty happy about both of them. This one is my my forest muse. These are both forest muses. So this is the Amanita forest muse, and this is the Morel forest muse. It took me a minute. I was trying to think of the mushroom. So these are the 2 journals where I've used my digital collections to create them. These are both characters that I developed for these journals. I will do separate flip throughs about these journals a little bit later on, but for now I'll jump into the collection. So let me just set these aside here. So the collection, this is a mega kit. These are huge kits. So they are split up into 2 kits. And somehow I have smudged something already on this one. My apologies. It's been a busy day in the studio. Oh my goodness. So anyways, there's an ephemera kit that contains things like tags, pockets, quotes, and some large format images of the characters that I developed for this collection. And then there are the journal pages. So I used a lot of mixed media kind of methods in this collection. So photography, a lot of editing in Procreate, modifying images of people that I know, pictures that I've taken, and turning them into different characters. I've modified with AI tools. There is painting and like watercolor and lots of digital editing and all sorts. So this is truly a collection made in many, many different ways. So I will get started today with the journal pages. So a lot of the pages in this collection, I wanted them to feel kind of like an old sort of whimsical fantasy type manuscript. So this is a lot of themes around mushrooms, moss, woods, magical creatures, that kind of thing, or magical personalities. So this first page is one of those older, old text type images, and it is these kind of abstract diagrams of different kinds of fungi, and then some sort of faux text, almost as though you were looking through a book that was written in a language that you didn't even know from an old time. You found a magical book in the woods. The next page is this one. So some of these are this is one of the more painterly images. We have some really nice kind of blotchy blue skies and these lovely sort of mushroom hovel home kind of environments. A bit surrealist landscape. So this one is one of the darker pages. We have these mushrooms kind of glowing up to the moon. This is a fun landscape with these giant mushrooms that have little trees on top. They all have their own little environments going on. So it's like all these little otherworldly type mushroom worlds. This is a 2-panel page that you would fold in half for journal pages, or you could certainly use them for ephemera if you like. This one has some glowing mushrooms and a bit of a fairy ring around these 2 trees. Then we have some mushrooms kind of cascading from the sky. And then we have this little majestic kind of hobbit home type village. And another of those ancient manuscript kind of drawn pages of mushrooms. These are sort of bolete style mushrooms. And then another 2-panel page of these 2 ladies here of mycology. Another ancient manuscript feeling page with some red toadstool type mushrooms. I wanted to leave a lot of sort of writing space that was also quite textured and fun. So this page was also like this. You could also print these as backgrounds on the busier pages if you wanted to. This is a fun labyrinth of all different little flowers blooming in this little kind of floral kingdom back here. And then a very painterly watercolored forest with lots of kind of trees and depth. This is one of the darker pages. There's a few of these pages that have sort of these abstract kind of trees and these mushrooms at the bottom. This one I painted in a bit of a dark sky. This one also is a little abstract and otherworldly. These mushrooms are a little more kind of blotchy. Then we have a green wood here with a fun path for the eye, this vantage point that goes back into the woods. And another otherworld kind of ethereal mushroom world with different kinds of mushrooms up in the trees. And we have a little bit going on in the distance there. You get a bit of a hint of what kind of magic land may be beyond the vision of that particular page. And these are just kind of surrealist, almost as though they're underwater. These trees kind of rising up and floating. We've got a few bubbles here and there. Another more painterly green wood. And then some blue skies and rocky outcrops and some blue flowers. And this one's just a little bit otherworldly. It's like you can see sun sort of shining through the water, and we have like a mossy little island here. It's a little bit you know, ethereal, or you could use these papers. I wanted to make them a little bit kind of landscape generic, in that you could use these for nature journals, but you could also use this for some kind of an oceany theme. You could add a mermaid here. I wanted to keep it a little bit like up to the imagination of the creator who's going to use these papers. So that concludes the journal pages. I believe there are 20 in total. You'll be able to see all the details in my Etsy shop on the listings. There will be 2 separate listings for this whole kit. So this is the other mega kit. So this is the ephemera. So as I'd mentioned, I developed some characters for this collection, and you'll see here I chose these 2 for my journals. So this was my Amanita Forest Muse and my Morel Forest Muse. And so you will see them again here in this collection in a couple of different ways. So on the first page of the ephemera, we have some smaller journal cards. I did keep the majority of this ephemera slightly generic, in that I didn't necessarily add a little, you know, spot to say this is definitely a pocket, or I didn't add, you know, the tabs to say this is definitely a tag. I wanted it to be something that you could decide. And I'll show you as we go through. So imagine these could be journal cards, they could be tuck spots, they could be pockets. The smaller images can be layered together. You can put them on pockets or what have you. You can collage with them. You'll see in my journals I've used them a little bit dynamically. So we have her, we have these mushrooms and the moon. This is like a really fun mushroom sort of colored couch with this figure here and some mushrooms back there. Mysterious figures in the woods with mushrooms, these glowing mushrooms, and then a couple little bits of little glowing mushrooms around a tree, a couple of trees. That's a little tag, and a couple little stamps of mushrooms, and this little girl here. Some labels: beneath the soil, fairy ring, amanita, bolete, chanterelle, woodland whisper, and mycology. And then here I've made some little fun pockets, and these are so cute on a page or even on a tag or a pocket as a second little pocket. And these little journal cards too are very dynamic. So these all have some fun, almost otherworldly mushroom growth images and some landscape. We have her, more fun mushroom images. This is a little tag here of this kind of fall muse, and you'll see her again. Then we have another little tag here of this forest muse, another forest muse. This is a large tag that says, "Nature alone is antique, the oldest art a mushroom," Thomas Carlyle. This is like a belly band image, a little bit darker. "The rain increases and umbrellas sprout like mushrooms amongst the graves," from Aaron Morgenstern. And a little quote here, "Falling in love is like eating mushrooms. You never know if it's the real thing until it's too late," Bill Balance. And a couple little fussy cut mushrooms there. And then here we have again some more very dynamic images. These ones get into a more mossy feel. Here we have a couple of girls that are just sprouting in the woods, kind of like the mushrooms all around them. I was trying to think about how to create some sort of, connected ethereal images, because one of the things that really inspires me about mushrooms is their connection through their mycelium underground with all of the trees and the woods and the forest, and how really every living thing is kind of connected to fungi. So we have very mossy, fun images of these ladies here. This is sort of multiple levels of mushrooms coming up, looking up into the sky, like we have all this excitement underground. A couple more just fun characters. And then we have a quote here from Erica Bauermeister's The Scent Keeper. "Foragers feast," my father would say, "and we'd set out into the woods, cedar bark baskets in our hands. In the summer we harvested bright red huckleberries and salal so dark blue they looked like night in your hand. In the fall we found mushrooms hiding under the trees. I was captivated by the convoluted morels, each one a labyrinth of nooks and crannies." So here we have nooks and crannies in these morels that I sculpted. Next page, we have him. He sort of fits with the last page of all of our mossy kind of people. And then this little black work stamp here, you'll see some more black work. These were drawings that I did, and I actually had colored them all in sepia, and then decided I liked them better in black and white. So they do go along with this kit, I think, quite well. We have a little label here with a quote from Catherine Mansfield. "If only one could tell true love from false love as one can tell mushrooms from toadstools." A couple little stamp type images of little mushroom women here, and then these images, we have a few more of those throughout the kit in different sizes. This painting here of this mushroom lady. "The goodness of the world grew like moss in cracks," she thought. "It grew somehow, with hidden roots nourished by something unseen." K.J. Bishop. And then this is a large black and white drawing. What I've done in my journals with this large image is I've made a fold here so that it can be like a tip out type writing space on back. But this could also be, cut into an image that you were to put on the cover of a journal. You could cut it out freeform for a fun pocket. Again, I like to keep things a little open. We have this pocket here with these fun amanitas. Another of those images, could be a little tuck spot, could be a little tag. We have a morel fussy cut here, and then there's some of those black work images. So there's 4 in total. You can also use them together to be like a pocket. "September is different from all other months. It is more magical. I feel the strange chemical change in the earth which produces mushrooms is the cause, too, of the extra life in the air. A resilience, a sparkle." Catherine Mansfield. And then we have a few more, relatively open-ended type images, how you could use them as you're choosing. So we have our water lily muse here. These 2 mushroom head women. We have 2 more with clusters of mushrooms, and another of those fun images that goes with those little stamps that I showed you before. So some more fun characters that I developed. This girl, I just really love her. I really was torn. I wanted to make another journal with her on the cover, and I may still do that, but I just really loved her. I spent a lot of time painting her. And then this one I really loved. She's kind of steampunky. She's like a steampunk forest goddess kind of. And then we have this kind of ethereal character here that has like a mushroomy tree for a head. And another kind of a witchy image that almost pairs well with that one. Lying on a soft bed of moss, viewing the cobalt blue sky painted with thick, impastoed layers of clouds framed sumptuously with swaying trees and dancing leaves is the best way to view nature's museum. Kang Kajaro Noyen. And then we get to the large format images. So some of these you've seen before, some of them you haven't, but I've created these. This is like a separate PDF document all on its own that you can choose to print any size you like. So you want to make them smaller, you can print them at 50%. You want to use them full page so that you have a large image so that you can decide, I want to put this on the cover of a journal. You can cut it out in this size, use it as a pocket. I just wanted it to be a very open-ended design choice for you. So we have this forest muse, these little antlery type shapes on top. We have the water lily muse. We have another forest muse who has her eyes closed. She's definitely like channeling some spirits, and she has some antlers here, and she's got like a little bit of her soul showing. And we have this little sweetie pie, my little fawn boy, with these little sparkles in the background. I felt like they were like fireflies, and he just made me really happy. Now this image, this one and this one. Okay, so this is the final image that I did all of the editing, and really, for me, it felt like the final image of my Amanita. My Amanita forest muse, as I was calling her. But I had also done this one. I had been working on, flipping it, changing, things about it. And I just loved the painterly feel of her. And I really thought she would be good for a more darker theme. She's almost a little bit like spooky season, I think, and the mushrooms are defined a little different around her. She's got some orange here up in her hat and in her hair, very different than what we have going on here. So the hair is slightly different. So she's a little more painterly. I ended up I couldn't decide which one I liked more, so I've included both of them. And again, you can shrink them down if you need to. I'm providing them very large so that you can decide if you want to put her on the cover of a journal. You could, and it could be a large journal. I just wanted to keep my options open. Then we have our fall forest muse. And then we have my morel forest muse that I used on this journal. And you'll see that I've cut her down, and I think it's very effective. I cut it in a free-form shape. You'll see this isn't a square, and I've matted it. So yeah, you have a lot of options with what you can do with these images. And I had to blow her up. I had to include her because I just really felt like she's beautiful. And then we have this guy who we see for the first time with his golden orb of hair and these fun shaggy mushrooms in the background. And then we have a larger image of her. And then I had to blow this one up because she's just gorgeous. I really feel inspired to make a mossy themed journal with her, as well as her. And then our sort of steampunky feeling girl here, I had to blow her up as well. So that is the kit, the Ephemera mega kit. So I think there are 7 pages of smalls, and then maybe 10 large format images. I can't recall. You'll be able to see all the details of these kits on my Etsy shop in the listing. So that is it for today. That is the new digital collection from me. I hope you enjoyed it and it inspires you and it feels like it's fun. As I mentioned, I will be putting this kit up on Etsy. It will also go to my Patreon top tier members, and these journals, I will do separate flip throughs of each one. My proof of concept journals, these feel so special to me. I'm like, oh, these babies, they've really been a part of my life for a little while now. I had a lot of fun creating them, and I hope you will like them. And yeah, that's it for me for now. So let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did. We try to have fun and do different things here. Okay, that's it for now. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.